Them lies and them secrets might be the reason I can't sleep. I see you texting and calling, but baby, ain't what you need. If you think about it, no, it ain't me. If you think about it, just let me be. You was a letdown. Think of all the time you had me stressed out. You don't know how it feel to be let down. The more that you left, put a hole in my chest. Life was a mess, you was a letdown. The time that we spent, you made it again. My dog.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Speak Your Mind show on the Social Notion Network. This your boy, Rob McCoy. I'm the host. Shout out to the Roku family. Shout out to Pod TV family. Shout out to the Social Notion family. Today, we have a special guest. You might have seen on X Factor, American Idol. She's a singer, dancer, model, choreographer. She do everything. Everybody give it up for my special guest, Tora. How you doing today, Tora?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm doing good. Up early, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
But, you know, when I love doing interviews. It don't matter what time it is. So, you know. So, Tora, tell me a little about your early life and like where you from.
Well, I was born in Los Angeles, but I was raised in Arizona. I was raised by a single mother for a while. I didn't meet my father until I was about 7. And I started music and entertainment very early in life. My mom talks about how I kind of taught myself how to sing by mimicking singers on the radio before I could even talk. So my first words were in song. And so it's just kind of in my soul, you know, it's just like without it, if I wasn't doing it, there would be something missing. You know what I mean?
So I see, so I don't mean to cut you out, but I see you like started singing at like 4.
Yeah.
So how did that happen? Like, how did you when you first started singing, your mom was like, man, she's amazing?
That's kind of what she did. She kind of noticed that, you know, I could sing. I had something, and so she just kind of pushed me from there. I did a lot of little like singing and dancing programs and musical theater programs for youth when I was really young. I spent 9 years in this one program called Kids Unlimited. We did like musicals and multiple showcases every year, and there was tap dancing, hip hop dancing, singing and dancing, you know, everything. I got into beauty pageants for a little bit. So that's kind of how it started.
So that's what. So you got into modeling around that time. When did you get into modeling and acting?
Acting, well, my first commercial, I was in a commercial when I was like 4, I think. Okay. And then I still kind of did a little acting here and there, but the singing and dancing was really where I could feel it the most. You know what I mean? So my next like really big acting situation, I want to say, was I started getting back into commercials when I was about 18. And that's when I signed my first record deal. I came back out to LA. So I started just really heavily getting back into all of that stuff. And then in my 20s, I kind of started signing up for a bunch of different acting agencies and started doing a bunch of different TV shows and movies as a background actor, and kind of fell in love with doing that, you know?
Yeah.
And I did a lot of stand-in work, a lot of stunt work. I do some driving work. So, yeah.
So I say, you know, I read that you went to college and, you know, your passion for a horse and driving.
Mm-hmm.
So can you like speak on how your college experience went, and how did you do balance college and your love for music and acting?
Well, I found it a lot easier to go to school online because then you can kind of do it from anywhere. I could accept any kind of jobs or, anything anywhere in the world and still be able to maintain classes. Um, it does get a little hectic, there's always midterms and finals, and then, trying to balance the study life is
Yeah.
probably the most difficult, especially when it's like a self-paced class online. You have to be very disciplined,
Yeah.
you
It's
have to make
different
sure
than going through it.
yeah, exactly. So, you have to make sure that you set aside a few hours every day to progress in that realm. Um, I'm still actually in school. It's been kind of a rocky road for me lately because when COVID hit, I was
Mm-hmm.
actually going in person. I'd gotten a great scholarship to one of my dream schools, the San Francisco Art Institute.
Oh,
And
okay. Yeah.
yeah, and so I went there for a while, and when COVID hit, they went bankrupt and they shut down and kicked all their students out. And so we kind of went crazy trying to find, I was trying to find another school to go to. I was trying, like, there was a scholarship that, I could lose by having that grace period of time where I'm not in school. I could lose that scholarship. So I was running around trying to find another school that would also match the Art Institute scholarships they were giving me, because I couldn't afford to pay all that by myself.
Yeah.
Um,
School is expensive. So.
yeah. So I started going to the University of Arizona online, and that was actually just recently. And it's just like, it's so much out of pocket, and they just don't really care about you.
No, they
That
don't.
they don't offer you anything to help you. And they're kind of like, oh, if financial aid doesn't cover you, like, go to this website, but oh well, type of thing. And then just dealing with so many instructors that also don't care about you really genuinely. And I experienced a really odd situation with an instructor. So it's like, it's kind of hard because I'm not only dealing with school and the demands of having to meet deadlines, but I'm also dealing with the drama of having to deal with the system, right?
Yes.
So it's like, at this point, my music career has less drama, you know what I'm saying? And that's like
Yeah.
unreal.
But it's a lot of drama in the entertainment. So
Oh, definitely. I've definitely seen my fair share of craziness, but
so I know I seen at the age 13 you lost somebody that were really close to you.
Yes, I did. It was my first, the first friend I had ever lost.
How did that affect you? I know losing somebody that's special to you can, mess with your mental. I lost my brother last year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he used to play in the NFL or whatever. And I lost him. I know losing, especially, at that age of 13, I'm telling you, what it did to you. I seen where you talked about dealing with mental health issues and, just trying to push forward. You know what I'm saying? You want to kind of, talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So, after I lost my friend, I've never been very good at handling death. That's always been like a side of me that, like, I have trouble dealing with.
Yeah.
And some other stuff happened after that when I was 14, with a boyfriend, and I lost my virginity unwillingly.
Yeah, I read
And
that too.
so Yeah. So like one thing after another kind of piled up. And then by the time I was 15, my mother and I decided to commit me to a hospital, um, because I had become suicidal. So
Oh,
I spent
man.
some time, yeah. So I spent some time kind of like working on myself, trying to figure out how to feel better, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and it's something that kind of chases you your whole life. You know, you never really can run from it.
No, you can't. So doing all that, you were still able to push for it. You got on American Idol.
Hmm.
So how did that opportunity come about? America, because you was on American Idol before X Factor, right?
Yeah, I was on American Idol about, but right before I turned 16.
So how did that come about? How was that experience? Because I know a lot of singers and stuff and acts, they dream is to get on American Idol, you know what I'm saying? So how being on American Idol, how was that experience like for you?
Um, well, it was interesting. It was very short because, I was a very troubled teenager around that age. So I was dealing with a lot of mental issues and physical issues and all of that. So um I had made it to Hollywood when I auditioned, but I got disqualified because of everything that that was happening. So what had happened was we ended up going, my mother and I ended up going to Las Vegas. I think it was 2005. And we did the whole cattle call thing. We waited in line for like 15 hours and
Oh
got to
yeah,
got
yeah, I
to the
seen it.
front. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually think during that audition, I was sitting right next to Taylor Hicks the whole time. He was behind me
Oh,
in line.
for real?
So yeah, he was behind me and like he won that year.
Yeah, because
That was the year
I
he
seen
won.
like the year you were on, it was a lot of
Yeah.
people who have came out now, like came out, kind of big, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you had a lot of people your year that people know of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, what was funny was, I had no idea who that was going to be.
Yeah.
And we were just talking because he was behind me in line. So naturally, you just talk to the people around you and you're standing 15
Mhm.
hours in a line or however long it was. And yeah, so that was cool. And then my audition was interesting. Paula and Randy loved me. Paula said I reminded her of her when she was that age,
Yeah,
and
I
Simon
remember.
didn't like me. He didn't
But
like me back then.
though, a lot of people give Simon flat like he mean,
Yeah,
but how I look at it with Simon at least tell you the truth. You see what I'm saying?
right. No,
And
that's why I've
some
always
people,
respected
and
him.
he, and if you good, he gonna give you your credit. Like,
Yeah,
but sometimes I think people need to hear the truth. You know what I'm saying? To not not that it belittle them, but it's only to make you get better. You know what I'm saying? Work on your
right.
craft. So,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
so
Yeah.
so so how coming off that show, how did it help you with your music? That you get more recognition, like
After American Idol, the only recognition I really got, I was in one really, really quick American Idol commercial. It was like a snap of me. And then the Rolling Stone magazine decided to put a whole article about me and how I was an American Idol reject.
for real.
Yes.
That's crazy.
But then, Simon Cowell ended up falling in love with me in 2011 when he met me again for X
When you
Factor.
join X
So,
Factor. So
so it was
X,
kind of like I did X Factor kind of trying to win him back. You don't dislike me, bro. Like, let me show you.
yeah.
Let me show you a little more. And plus it was years late. That's, 2005, 2011. So I did a lot of growing. I was 21,
Mm.
I was developed, and my voice was developed, and my artistry was developed. So, you know, he
So,
liked that.
so coming off that show, you really gained some popularity though off X Factor.
Yes, definitely. They gave me a lot of exposure.
Yeah. So you said you were signed to a label, right?
Yeah, I've been signed to a couple different labels. One of the best experiences was a label out in Miami, an indie label. They shut down, but yeah, that was a really good experience. I was signed to them for a year, and that's when I did Guns N' Roses
Yeah.
and Saturday Night, and then those songs spun on the radio, and I did like a little radio tour. I was opening for Flow Rider. I opened for Pink and Method Man, and did a song with Timbaland and Jim Jones. So that was
Yeah,
like
I
a
heard that
really
song.
big.
I was just
Yeah.
about to ask. So being on tour with them, and how how did that, like, how was your mental then? Like, was you excited, like starstruck to see them, or you were just like, oh, they just other, other people, you know what I'm saying? How was
Um,
that? Were they nice to you? Did they try to help you?
I've only been starstruck for two different people in my entire life. And nobody that I've ever opened up for or been able to actually like talk to and chill with.
Yeah.
Um, but as for the people that I did open for and everything, I mean, there were some surprising moments. You know, I did a tour with B.O.B.
Okay.
As you know, it ended quite catastrophically with, you know, how they did me. But
What?
there was another surprising time I opened up for Neo, actually, and I was sitting backstage waiting to go on and to perform with my dancers, and somebody taps me on my shoulder, and I turn around and it's Neo, and he's like, "Hey, you're my opener, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Oh, I'm Neo. Like, it's nice to meet you." I was like, "Wow!" Like, no major artist has ever done that, like, and been so equalized with their, you know, the other people. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
he's actually one artist I can say hasn't let the fame and fortune get to his head. You know, he
Yeah,
was
because a lot
so,
of them do though. A lot of
yeah,
them do,
exactly. Most of them do.
Yeah,
You know what I
most
mean?
of
So,
them think you beneath them, and you like, what? You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
So,
exactly.
so that sounds like a great experience for you. Being able to, people dream of opening for people like that. You know what I'm saying? So for you to get
Yeah,
to do that, I'm sure it was quite a great experience for you.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
So have you so how have you done with modeling? Because I see you model, then I see you choreograph a tour in China.
Mm-hmm.
So how did that opportunity come back? Because that's like a big deal to do a whole tour.
Yeah, I spent 3 months out there, and it was with,
China.
I had met this booking agency online. They reached out to me, this booking agency from New York, and you know, they said, you know, we have space for sending, you know, a couple American artists overseas to do world tours, and you know, we want you to create a package for us. So, you know, I hired a couple dancers, and I created this little package, you know, promotional package, and created this show. So I choreographed this whole 3 different 10-minute routines, and you know, singing and dancing, and filmed us doing it in costume, did a photo shoot, and then sent them the little package. And you know, they hired us, and then, you know, we went overseas, and my first time in Asia. So that was really, really a cool experience.
How was that experience? A lot different from America.
It's a culture shock for sure. But I think it's something that everybody who hasn't experienced other cultures needs to throw themselves into one by
Yeah,
just going to the country and experiencing for a few weeks, because it just, I mean, and not that I wasn't already cultured, you know, I had already done cruise ship tours when I was 13, you know, went to Jamaica and all this stuff. I've
yeah,
seen many other cultures and many other ways of living. But there's just something a little bit different about the way China, the way being in China is, you know, it's just so much more different. And then being communist and having this weird in between with Americans to where like we could kind of still kind of live our way, because they don't want to mess with that. They're kind of scared of us.
yeah.
The second I went there, they literally, everybody out there treated me like Beyonce. I literally saw what Beyonce goes through on a day-to-day basis because that's how they treated me.
Cause
And
you gotta think, people think, cause we watch these American Idol and X Factor here that they
right,
don't watch it in them other. So of course, sometimes that might be the closest to people meeting, you know what I'm saying? Seeing people on TV and they coming over there. So they're like, oh, she's a star to us, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
definitely.
that's great. That's a great. So I see you talked about your story of how the entertainment business did you. They were trying to steal your music.
Yeah. I mean, my first contract that I signed when I was 18, um, ended crazy. The manager started doing all kinds of crazy drugs and was getting us thrown
Oh,
out of hotels. And um, my last straw was with that contract was, we were sitting in a big industry meeting with a bunch of record execs that were there to review me and my music. And there was like 4 different companies there that all like were at bidding war for me. And so it was a very important meeting, right? I had just slept outside on a curb because this dude got us kicked out of this hotel because he was freaking, his card declined. So he started freaking out, yelling. He was like on some stuff and he was like yelling and going crazy in the lobby. So they kicked us out. And at that time I was 18. I was out there. He was, you know, he was funding everything. So I came out there with no money. You know, that was my job, being an artist and writing and producing and doing all that was my job. So I couldn't just be like, okay, well, I'm gonna just get a hotel room myself. You know what I mean?
no, yeah.
And at the time, I was so ashamed at, you know, signing that contract and because my mom told me to wait, and it was a whole ordeal. This because it was the first contract I signed, so it was a mistake on my part that I made because I was just like, I'm getting signed. Woo! Let me
You
sign
just so
anything.
happy,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? And that's what record companies do to artists that
Yeah,
don't know what they're doing.
yeah.
But just a side note. But so you know, I kind of got myself into the mess, and I didn't want to, you know, I was prideful. I didn't want to go to my mom and be like, you were right. I signed this contract. You told me not to.
Mm.
Um, but so I kind of started just dealing with it. And I ended up, he slept in this van. We had this van that we were going in because we had like a security guy with us too that would
Yeah.
come with us everywhere. And so he had this van, and so they slept in the van and I slept on the crib because I was like, I'm not sleeping in a place that close to you, bro. Because
Mm.
he had already done some certain things that kind of made me feel sketchy. So I was like I'm sleeping over here. Y'all can be not over here. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So we went to this exec meeting. It was at 9 a.m. I was sleeping on this curb. I was like leaning on this pole and stuff. So I wasn't really sleeping. You know what I mean? I was trying.
Just had your
I was
eyes
closing my
closed.
eyes. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm all like strung out, not on drugs, on no sleep, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's 8:30, we're like running late, and he's popping ecstasy pills in the back of the van
In the
before
morning?
this meeting, bro. Yes. And I'm like, why are you doing that? What are you doing? And the security guy, he's yelling at dude too. We're all like yelling in this van, no sleep, you know, just pissed off. And so we get to this meeting, you know, we go in, I'm, you know, trying to just ignore what is happening in reality. And you know, we're talking about my music. I'm playing a bunch of different songs for them. And so this guy, the manager guy, he starts rubbing my leg under the table. And so I'm like,
Come on, for the label?
at the meeting, under the table, in this, it was like a big rectangle table. And we're all sitting there, like, it was probably like 8 people or 9 people or something. And you know, he starts doing this thing under the table, and I'm like trying to not seem like anything's going on, but I'm like pushing his hand away under the table and stuff. And but it's obvious, like you could see all this happening right here. And you know, everyone's like kind of looking around like,
what's going on? What the hell is going on?
Right. And they see my face, and I'm just like, shit, like, what is this guy doing? And so my last straw with this situation, he goes, and I was like, oh hell. And I got up and I threw the chair across the room. I got up and I walked out. I was like, you know what? I'm sorry, but this is crazy. And I was like, I've got to get back to Arizona or something. I'm out. Like, you know, this is it. And so I walked out, and a couple of the guys from the other company ran after me. They chased after me, and they were like, yo, oh my gosh, I saw what just happened. Like, what are you dealing with? Like, how long has this been going on? Like, what's going on? So I kind of just exploded. I just vented. I literally said everything that was happening. And I was like, you know, I don't know how to get out of this. I signed this contract. My mom told me not to sign it. I'm an idiot. What do I do?
You
like,
just
calm down. They were like, calm
young.
down. They were like, we already want to sign you. This is not an issue. They were like, we have lawyers. We could take care of it.
Yeah.
They put $10,000 they gave to this lawyer on retainer to just give to me. So there wasn't any conflict of interest. They were like, here, retain him. You're her lawyer now, and we're going to work with this other law team. So, I had this lawyer, and I got out of this contract with this guy, and you know, this other company that kind of saved my rear. They you know, I was so scared to sign a contract after that. So they were like, you know, we're not going to ask you to sign anything right away. We could just do some music and just, you know, go for it and just, you know, feel it out. And I was like, yeah, definitely. And so I started working with the producer, and I moved into the studio. I was living in their studio. And then I wrote probably like 50 to 60 songs with them in a course of about 6 months that I was there. And they were like, okay, so we're going to take these songs, and we're going to, you know, spend some time to go through them, pick out the album cuts, pick out which ones are the hits, you know, the singles, mix them all down, master them, and then whatever, and then go, you know, move forward. So what they wanted to do, they wanted to send me back to Arizona with my mom while they were doing all this. They said it was going to take a couple weeks. Yeah. So right. So I went back to Arizona. The plot thickens. I went back to Arizona, you know, spent 2 weeks with my mom. You know, 2 weeks went by, and I hadn't heard anything from them. So I you know, called and everything. And I was like, so it's been 2 weeks. What's going on? Like, I'm ready to come back whenever you guys are, whatever. No response. So, you know, I emailed the other guy, I called the investor who gave him all the money, and nothing. Nobody was answering my calls. And so I contacted the lawyer that they paid for. And I was like, look, I'm not trying to do anything crazy yet, but I just wrote 60 songs with these people. They sent me back to Arizona and now they're not responding. I don't know what to do. I don't have not one of these songs. Like, I didn't back anything up. They have all of it. I trusted them. You know, they spent 10 grand on this lawyer. I've trusted them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mind you, I guess the investor had no idea what they were doing with the money. So he didn't know that they did all that. They were just doing that to suck me in. So the lawyer sends a threatening letter to them talking about, like, you know, what's going on, you need to respond or we're going to move forward. And then, you know, it escalates. It all escalates because they never respond. I fly out to LA, get ready for court. The day of court comes, they still haven't responded. I'm literally on my way to the courthouse and they call me. Okay. And I answered and I'm like, what the is happening, bro? And they're like, it's cool, like we'll just settle up with you. And I was like, I thought everything was good, like you guys were gonna bring me out, we were gonna do this whole thing. And they were like, oh, you know, we'll just settle up with you and give you your stuff back. Mind you, they had all of my belongings because I moved into their studio and left all my stuff there. I only brought enough stuff back to Arizona for 2 weeks because they said 2 weeks.
Because you thought you were coming back out there.
Right. I thought I was boom, boom, gonna boomerang shot right back. You know what I'm saying? And
That's
so,
crazy.
yeah. And so, you know, they're like, we just, you know, we don't want to have to go to court. We don't want that on our record. So we'll just settle up and give you your stuff and your music back. And I was like, fine, whatever. I didn't have the energy at that point to even do anything. And so I just turned the car around and I met them at the studio and I got my stuff. I got the CD with all the you know, my songs on it that I had done. And all I wanted was to get that back to Arizona. At that time, at that point in my life, I hated LA. I hated it because it was all nothing but a bunch of men that wanted to either you know, give you an ultimatum to sleep with them, or they're not going to do anything for you, or just screwing you over in all ways, from all directions. So I was like, get me out of this place. Like, I don't care if I was born here. I want out. This is not my place. This is not my state. This is not my anything. Get me out. You know what I mean? I was done.
And I can say, like it's, I'm sure, like, it's hard being a woman in the entertainment because you don't know if somebody trying to take advantage of you. You know what I'm saying? I give you that opportunity only if you do this for me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
And not just that, but they expect it. It's like, if someone takes me out to dinner, they're going to expect something in return. It's like, why is it like that out here? Who does that?
Yeah, I don't know. That's just how, I guess that's how the world is. You know, it's a crazy world out there.
Yeah, it is.
So I see you have 2 organizations that you run. I think that's a great, you know, something great to give back to. Can you explain to the people, like, what it is with all about the organization, the 2 you run?
Yeah, so I'm actually working on developing an organization for animal rescue, and pretty much it's gonna be like a huge conservatory, kind of like a sanctuary for animals that don't have homes, or that have gotten abused, or that, you know, they can't get adopted because of certain things. And a lot of the fosters are going to come from foster-based facilities that don't have an actual home base. Like, they only have people that take their animals in. They don't have a shelter for their animals. And I kind of want to serve other organizations to provide that shelter and to provide that land and sanctuary for their animals until they get adopted. And then I also want to serve for the humane societies and all of the you know, like the dog pounds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of their euthanization cases are happening because of overflow, because they have too many animals and they don't know what to do with. So I also want to provide a space for them to if a dog or cat or any kind of animal is of fear of being on the euthanasia list, and they're not sick or in a unhealable condition, then they would contact me and I would come and clear them out. And so my facility would be also for endangered species and wildlife refuge as well.
Come on, like lions and stuff.
Lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my baby, that's what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm.
That's great though. That's great. Like that you want to be involved with helping animals, because a lot of animals out here do get abused and
Yeah.
don't have a good home, so it be left on the street to die. So it's good that people want to help and trying to open up stuff to save them. So that's a great thing. Once you get it, up and running like you want to, reach out to me. I help in the way I can. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's a good thing. So new music. So you got any new music you working on right now?
Yes, I have a lot of music that I'm actually kind of working on right now. A lot of stuff I have to write to, and a lot of stuff that I have to finish writing. And then I have a special edition of my song Eclipse that's coming out this year. I think maybe this year I'll release it. I might wait till December, but I have a couple music videos that I'm going to be working on. Not sure if they'll release this year, but they'll be getting worked on. And I have a release coming out actually, what is it? Next month, August 27th. And it's called My Boss. And it's actually about one of my favorite cars, the Boss 429.
Yeah.
So, it's actually going to be one of the songs for this TV show that I'm working on, which is called Riding in Cars with Tora. And it's kind of one of those shows that you're, talking shop about the cars, about mods, about different people, different drivers, and different builders, and why they do what they do to their cars, and just trying to get my hands on the craziest mods and the fastest cars. So, and talking about it. And talking about the drama that, is involved with
the cars,
with
a lot of
life, with things that tie in that aren't supposed to tie in, all kinds of stuff. Yeah. It'll be great. But we actually have our Instagram up, Riding in Cars with Tora. So.
Okay. So what you working with any, good producers for your music?
I've been doing a lot of stuff myself, on the piano and stuff like that. I have a few producers that have submitted to me, and I'm still kind of going through and seeing what I should write to. It's kind of a tough decision, because I want to say yes to everybody, but at the same time, I have to maintain a certain quality in my music that, so it's like.
Yeah, you gotta write music that that represents you. It's like a lot of people want to sing beat. I'm like, that's not my style. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I gotta stick to what I know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying with that.
Yeah.
So you got new music coming out. You doing any modeling right now?
Yes. I've been doing a lot of modeling. Well, I did a few brand shoots for a few different companies. Revive, they're like smoothie company, and New Wave, which is an air fryer company. And I work with a few clothing lines, and there's going to be a lot of more good stuff coming out. So yeah.
Stay tuned to that, huh?
Yes, definitely.
So Tora, I like to do something on my show towards the end when, people tell 5 things about themselves that people might not know, like hidden talent. So you got 5 hidden talent you can tell everybody that not too many people know that you good at.
I got a green thumb. And I have like a fully edible organic garden.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm a precision driver. I know a lot of people kind of know it, but I guess it depends on who you are, if you know this about me. Let's see. I train horses.
So you just you do everything.
Yeah, I do a lot. What else is there?
You ain't got to name 5.
Oh,
but nah, it just of course you don't have to name 5, but that was some good, like, sometimes people, they might see an artist and they be like, oh, they just do music, but they're not knowing that they talented at other stuff too. So that's why I do these type of stuff, because some people got some hidden talent. You're like, dang, that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? So I know training horses is probably hard.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I love horses. I'm just scared to ride one. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking big and they so big. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, they're big, gentle giants.
Yeah, till they throw you off there. So you know what I'm saying?
That's why you gotta build a relationship with them. They won't throw you off if you have a relationship with them.
But that's what I'm saying. People go ride horses, go on these horse rides. They ain't never met the horse. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I gotta at least spend 2 weeks with them.
Right.
So that's great. So tell everybody how they can, follow you, download your music, all your social media.
Everything is at Tora Woloshin. So there's Instagram, I probably use the most. Yeah. And then Twitter, Facebook, YouTube is all at Tora Woloshin.
And you got in the music on Apple?
Oh yeah, Apple, Spotify, pretty much anywhere
all platforms.
Find music, yeah. And it's probably easy to find all my stuff. You could just type my name into Google or go to ToraWoloshin.com.
Okay. All right. And you can catch us on Instagram at Speak Your Mind, at Social NOSTRA, at Pod TV. Follow us on YouTube. And Tora, thanks for coming on the show. And
thank you for having me.
Story. I really appreciate you. And I look forward to seeing what you're coming out with next.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.